Worst case scenario. Northwell Health physicians and nurses were over at JFK High School in Belmore today teaching students how to use these Stop the Bleed kits. It's one way to treat traumatic injury in case of an emergency. Sydney Brewer is a student at the school, and she raised over $3,000 to bring in 60 kits.
I am the same age as the kids in the Sandy Hook shooting. I remember it very vividly when I was in first grade, and I knew I had to do something. Ever since I was little, I knew I had to put more effort, make people more aware of what goes on.
And Brewer says the school is the first on the island to bring in these bleeding control kits.
I'm Jen Seelig at John F. Kennedy High School in Belmore, where the students are learning how to use these Stop the Bleed kits, all thanks to one student and her passion to save lives.
If there's, God forbid, any type of emergency, these kits are essential.
Up next, we'll show you how the hard work and dedication of one student has helped an entire school. While making sure students are prepared for a worst-case scenario. That was the goal for one junior in the Belmore Merrick School District, and now it's safe to say mission complete. News 12's Jen Seelig explains.
If there's, God forbid, any type of emergency, these kits are essential. We're the first school on Long Island to actually have these kits in every classroom.
Sydney Brewer is a junior at John F. Kennedy High School. The 17-year-old raised over $3,000 to bring Stop the Bleed kits to her school. She says it's been a mission since hearing about a deadly school shooting when she was a little girl.
I am the same age as the kids in the Sandy Hook shooting. I remember it very vividly when I was in first grade, and I knew I had to do something. Ever since I was little, I knew I had to put more effort, make people more aware of what goes on.
Steady direct pressure is what you do. Northwell Health physicians and nurses taught these students how to apply Turner kits and pack wounds to stop bleeding. The rate of gun violence continues to rise across the country. According to Gun Violence Archive, there have already been more than 200 mass shootings this year.
It seems like we turn on our TV and every month we hear about another school shooting, another workplace shooting, and if you get shot, especially in the extremities, these kits can save your life.
Sydney was able to fundraise 60 of these kits, which means one kit in each classroom.
We're always talking to kids about taking ownership of their school. This is their home away from home, and I can't imagine too many more things, too many more examples where kids took ownership of their school.
After a class period of training, these students say they feel equipped.
After getting demonstrated how to use Turner kits, how to stop the bleeding, learning call 911 first. God forbid, if there's any school shooting, then I think I could probably save a life.
In Belmore, Jen Seelig, News 12 Long Island.
And this May marks the 5th annual National Stop the Bleed Month, which highlights the importance of learning this critical skill.
Today, vital first aid training at Belmore's JFK High School. It's part of the National Stop the Bleed campaign to get more people trained to render aid in the case of emergencies, especially mass shootings. JFK student Sydney Brewer raised the money to buy a dozen kits and then helped organize the event.
I was in first grade when the Sandy Hook school shooting occurred, and that's how old the victims were. They would have been my age today. So I knew I had to do something, and I almost felt compelled to help out in any way that I can.
Northwell doctors, nurses, and EMTs are the ones who taught the students how to use those kits.
Detener este proceso, estaremos muy pendientes. Y bueno, amigos, Stop the Bleed, David, o Para el Sangrado. Este es el nombre de un seminario de capacitación para estudiantes en una escuela secundaria. Está ubicada en Belmore Merrick High School y eso es, bueno, allá en Long Island.
Qué bien, Rosarina, porque resulta que instructores de un reconocido hospital de nuestra área les mostraron algunas técnicas que podrían salvar vidas. Ricardo Villarini nos amplía.
Estudiantes de la escuela secundaria John F. Kennedy en Belmore, Long Island, recibían instrucciones este viernes que los prepara para la eventualidad de una emergencia donde sea necesario tomar acción para intentar salvar una vida, todo gracias a la iniciativa de un estudiante.
Pues uno nunca sabe lo que va a pasar, pero hoy día, cada vez que miramos hay tragedias que ocurren por causa de armas. Así que esta señorita estuvo en el primer grado cuando ocurrió la tragedia de Sandy Hook y ella quería hacer algo. Y ella es uno de los líderes de la escuela entre los estudiantes y Ella quería que nosotros estemos preparados por si acaso ocurre algo así.
Y aprendieron las destrezas más esenciales para detener una hemorragia o sangrado con la ayuda de profesionales de la salud de Northwell Health.
Just enough to cover the wound.
Hay dos opciones para detener el sangrado dependiendo de las circunstancias, dijo la instructora. Aplicar presión en la herida o emplear un torniquete de la siguiente manera. Aplique presión directa a la herida. Concéntrese en la ubicación del sangrado. Use suficiente gasa o tela para cubrir la herida. Y si la presión detiene el sangrado, mantenga la presión sobre la herida hasta que llegue la ayuda. Y cuando use un torniquete, aplicar de 2 a 3 pulgadas por encima de la herida. No lo coloque sobre el codo o la rodilla. Apriete el torniquete hasta que se detenga el sangrado y no lo retire. Además, se lo puede aplicar a sí mismo. La destreza aprendida es muy útil en varias circunstancias.
There's so many ways.
Un sangrado que amenaza la vida puede ocurrir en diferentes escenarios como accidentes automovilísticos o hasta una simple caída. Y el conocimiento puede salvar vidas, pero la primera acción a tomar siempre es llamar al 911 y pedir ayuda.
Como parte del proyecto de estudiantes obtuvieron 60 kits como este para detener las hemorragias, uno para cada salón de clase en la escuela, donde pueden usarlo en caso de emergencia, pero también para continuar el entrenamiento de estos estudiantes.
And here you can see wear gloves.
En el kit hay guantes, un torniquete y vendajes, entre otras cosas. Tener estos recursos es muy práctico, pero el conocimiento es aún más esencial para salvar vidas, concluyó. Ricardo Villarín, Noticiero 47, Telemundo.
Ricardo, gracias.